All right, let's talk about Justin Herbert here in the Chargers. I thought Herbert played really well in this game. The Chargers continue to be impressive this season with a 3-2 record, and again, two losses are to the Steelers and Chiefs. Both feel like playoff teams, especially the Chiefs, right? Who feel like more than just a playoff team. But you look at Herbert's numbers, and they don't seem overly impressive. 237 yards, one touchdown, no interceptions. But I thought the tape was really good, and that's what I want to talk about in today's video. Before I do, though, just real quick, we'll mention I do have a movie channel. If you like watching movies, you can check that out. The link is in the description below. It's called Jackson Kruger Movies. But yeah, let's talk some Justin Herbert. Starting off with the play you see on the screen. It's a zone coverage concept. The Chargers have a tight end running that route right there, and this is really more of a setup route more than anything, as they're then going to have their halfback kind of follow in that direction. Hopefully the tight end has pushed the corner out of the area, and this could potentially get open. When this play begins, one of the issues of playing a team like Denver is they don't really get too fooled about these situations. You see that Denver linebacker is reading this play well, getting in position to try and cover the halfback's route. So I would say for the most part, this is pretty good defense. Now, Herbert's still putting the ball in that direction, trying to make something happen, and I think that's probably the correct decision here. But watch how well executed this is. I mean, look at that beautiful throw to Kamani Vital, who makes a great catch, able to get into the end zone for a touchdown. But that's a high degree of difficulty throw. I mean, that has to be right there. If it's a little bit further, it's probably incomplete. And if it's a little bit behind, it's probably incomplete and maybe intercepted if the linebacker gets his head turned around, although that might be tough. But really, a perfect ball placement to get a touchdown right there. And that's a lot of what we saw from Herbert, I thought. Is like the scheme working, guys getting open, and Herbert just making the right plays. But also, you got to give him credit for why the scheme was working. Like on this one, it's a 3rd down and 8 situation, and you have zone coverage concept that the Broncos are going to be in right here. It's actually a zone blitz, and you have an over the middle route that Herbert's going to look towards. Herbert's going to take the snap right here. He looks towards his left, and that's a really interesting thing to note right here. Because he's looking so far towards his left, again, the linebackers over the middle, they can't really see behind him. They don't know what's behind them. They're playing the quarterback. And so that's why using your eyes is such an important aspect of being a quarterback, and why the best quarterbacks use their eyes to get guys out of position. That's what Herbert's doing here. Getting those Broncos players to move a little bit more towards the bottom of the screen, then throwing in between them, basically getting them set up to where he wanted them to be, and then making a really accurate throw and a really well-timed throw, and they pick up a 1st down on a 3rd and 8. So, watching it live, you might look at that and say, okay, solid throw, hit the open guy, good job. Maybe not wide open, but not the highest degree of difficulty play. But part of that was because of what he did. Like, he made the throw easier, and there's definitely a lot of value in that. It was not all perfect. This was, in my opinion, a mistake from Herbert, where you see the concept on the screen. It's going to be a zone coverage play. See a couple of routes that could potentially get open. However, when Herbert takes the snap, it's just not working. He looks right here. There's about to be pressure right in his face. This is not, the play just didn't work. This is not Herbert's fault. And worth mentioning, it's a 3rd down and goal right here. So really, at this point, I mean, the play isn't working. You have to I think just take the sack here is the correct decision. That's what I would want to see Herbert do. However, you see he tries to fight through it with only one hand on the ball. He lost that football. Now, he recovered it right after, but he did lose the football. It's just a mistake. You got to have 2 hands on the ball in that situation. Sure, the fact that the play went wrong was not his fault. It was a bad situation through no fault of his own, but you don't want to make a bad situation worse. Lucky that he didn't do that on this one. But now let's go over to something like this, because, listen, I get it. This Chargers receiving core, not exactly known for its big names, right? It isn't. But you know what? They have a lot of guys who, are at least medium-sized names, and guys who can make plays if nothing else. Like, for example, this one, it's going to be Ladd McConkey running this over-the-middle route. It's a one-on-one matchup. This is why they drafted Ladd McConkey when they did, because they feel like he can be a guy who can move the chains on a 3rd down and 9 situation, so they're going to look towards him here. Herbert takes the snap. That's what he does. He looks in that direction, navigates the pocket well, does throw a bit off balance, and I'm not sure if he necessarily had to, but he wanted to make sure he got the ball quickly down the field because, you see, there is a window right now for Herbert to make this throw. and make it he does, really right on the money. McConkey's able to make the grab before sliding down. They pick up a first down on 3rd and 9. Again, this is just good stuff by the Chargers in general. Good stuff by Herbert for sure, but also really good stuff by McConkey. And hey, offensive line held as well, so give everyone credit here. And then also this one was very fun, so it's going to be a 3rd down and 10. So these are important plays in the game, right? For sure. 3rd down and 10, and you have just a one-on-one matchup on the outside. It's that simple. Herbert's going to take the snap. He's just throwing it up to Simi Fehoko is the player who's in position, and to be honest, is in pretty solid position right here to make this catch. I actually don't love this ball from Herbert. I don't think this was Herbert's best play in this one. But watch Fehoko make the grab. Okay, good receiving play to be able to make it work. So for Herbert, you're trusting your guys, and the guys are making it work. So again, no one really had a ton of yards in this one. No one had over 50 yards in this game for the Chargers, but they had 3 players with over 40 yards, another player with 38 yards, and a total of 6 players with over 20 yards. So spreading the ball around, having guys make plays, and the guys working on these ones. Also, this is another Ladd McConkey play, but it's a big one. Again, this is a all-out blitz that the Broncos are in right here on a 3rd and 8, and we always talk about 3rd downs being kind of really where what separates the good teams from the bad teams. If you can convert on 3rd downs, that can win you a lot of games. And I mean, the Chargers were 11 for 18 on 3rd downs. They converted 11 3rd downs in this game. The Broncos only 3. I mean, that's the difference right there. But anyway, all out blitz for Denver. Herbert takes a snap, and he's going to be immediately under pressure, so he just fires one, right? I mean, that's all he can do. You have to get rid of that ball quickly, but he's trusting Ladd McConkey. He didn't know McConkey was going to get open or not before making this throw, because how could he know, right? I mean, there was an all-out blitz. He has to get rid of the football quickly, and yet you see there is a window for McConkey. And you see Herbert does, in fact, hit that, and McConkey makes a nice move after the catch as well before finally getting brought down. So, again, it's just good stuff right here. Obviously, there's a lot going well with this Chargers team right now. I mean, J.K. Dobbins, who might have only had 3.8 yards per carry, but did still have 25 carries for 96 yards. So he was a workhorse, even if it wasn't a high efficiency, still a high volume for Dobbins. You're getting the running game working. This defense played very well up until kind of, a couple drives in the 4th quarter. Maybe they'd like to have back, but still a really good performance all around by this roster. And again, we kind of I feel like a bit of a quiet start to the year by Justin Herbert, but I think games like this remind you of why he can be a really effective player. They're not having him do as much, but still, he is making the right play consistently when he is out there, and that's definitely cool to see if you're a Chargers fan. He is the guy capable of making some tough plays, and especially on 3rd downs and even 4th downs over his career, been very good at that stuff. So, yeah. That's what I think about Justin Herbert and his performance against the Broncos. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.